So the differences with being in long-term care versus being in a hospital, one of the things I would definitely say is having a charge nurse. In nursing homes, you are the charge nurse. Like, that's it. If something happens, it's all on you. Miss Johnson on the floor, it's on you. Such and such needs to be suctioned, it's on you. Such and such, the doctor on the phone, it's on you. This person, sugar is too low or too high, it's on you. This person at the dining room table and they fighting with somebody, it's your person. Like, everything is on you in long-term care. Whereas in the hospital, there's more people there to do the job at any given time. If you in a hospital, you got trach patients. You got respiratory therapy that's going to come and take care of them trach patients. Now, granted, you are still the nurse. You still need to look out for signs and symptoms. You still need to do your assessments. You still need to do the things that a nurse does to be the nurse, because they are the nurse. But the respiratory therapists, they're coming to do that specific thing, look at that specific thing. If something were to happen, and if and will it does happen, and it will happen, respiratory therapy gonna be there. But you still the nurse, granted. But in the nursing home, you're the nurse and you're the person that's supposed to know what to do. And don't be night shift where nobody's there, or you don't have techs, or you don't have, CNAs, like there's nobody really on the floor, like there's no help in the facility. You got 1.5 floors, meaning you got 100+ patients, literally 100+ patients in Missouri. You got to think there's no ratio in nursing homes, a lot of them. The regulations are so under that they basically work you. You can work in a nursing home. I believe you can work anywhere because it's the number, the sheer volume of people and the things that you have to have your eyes on in a nursing home, I believe sets a solid foundation. Now, is it because I was in nursing home for 8 years? Hell yes, because they work your ass to death. And not only was I in a nursing home, I've worked in several nursing homes over the years. I would say 20+ nursing homes over the years. On top of me working as both a CNA and an LPN and an RN, working full-time, part-time, pregnant, days, evening, nights. I've done it all in nursing homes. Only thing I really haven't done is go to different states. And I'm still working on my Illinois license. I already got, I'm going to have to restart the process, but it is what it is. Not restarted, but I got to get my fingerprint again. I already did that and I let it lapse. I don't know how I let it lapse. I don't know. But anyhow, I guess it just wasn't time. So I believe it set a foundation, at least for me. I would say in my career it does, because of sheer volume, everything that you have to see, the end of the life. You see the consequences of a person living with something. You see the end of life. Now, granted, I would say there begs the difference, something that you get from pediatrics saying the beginning of life, but the end of life, you see when the doctor says this can lead to this and this can lead to this and these are the complications of this and this and that. You literally see it. It's no longer just something in a book. You see it, and you see it at the end of a person's life, or sometimes you can see it in their 30s, 40s, 50s. Like, nursing homes is taking everybody nowadays, so because they're the placement, you just don't have the placement other places. So keep that in mind, that nursing homes, the reason why some people feel a certain way about it, and they feel like, oh, they getting worked and it's just too much work. You gotta think, back in the day, it used to be debtor's prison. If you didn't have the money and the means and the health to take care of yourself back in the day, like, you just went to debtor's prison. You know, and nursing homes are pretty much that too. If people don't have money, they don't have resources, they don't have anywhere to go, where else are they going to go? This is why a lot of younger people are getting in nursing homes. It's just, that's what it comes down to. That's what it comes down to, because you got to think it's government funded. So people to say, oh, you know, the nursing homes is this, nursing homes that, long-term care is this, long-term care is that. Because I know you hear negative stuff about it all the time, right? Nobody wants to do geriatrics. Like, that's one of the last things we want to do. But you got to think it's government funded. How many people are on Medicare and Medicaid? How many people can afford, who can afford to spend $8,000 a month right now? Who can do that? Not including your insurance, if you want to get insurance on top of the Medicaid, Medicare, and where you live. So $8,000 a month. That's how much these rooms is costing to get skilled nursing care 24/7, skilled nursing care 24/7, and to get care, basically, essentially food, room, and board. So all of that is $8,000. Who can afford that each month on a fixed income? Especially nowadays, I don't want to say nowadays, but I don't even know what percentage it is, but I'm sure it's a very large percentage of people who do not have money after the age of 50 something. retirement age. They don't have enough to retire. That's always been the case. People don't have enough to retire. But it's starting to catch up. We starting to see when they said that, we seeing it with the baby boomers. We saw it with the baby boomers. But now the baby boomers can't even just continue to have their time. You got the generation like behind the baby boomers. You got 50-year-olds in nursing homes. So you got some generations behind them that's like knocking on their door too. Like, okay, here I go so we can get up in here. Like, that's what's happening. So that's something to keep in mind when we're talking about the nursing home. It's just not regulated and it's government funded. For something to be government funded but to have such a huge stigma around it and to have so many issues that come from it, but you got to think about it. The government is who put them in there. The government is making it so that it's easier for us to not retire a certain way. And I don't even see it as a government. I see it as the society itself structures itself to the point where a person spends majority of their money when they're able to make money. And sometimes when they're at an age where they're able to make money, they're not making the money they need. You know, this kind of go with Dave Ramsey, where he be like, your income is your highest, that's your highest wealth building tool, is your income. So if you're not building the income on top of saving, doing all that, when you can build it, by the time you can no longer increase, you're supposed to get to a point where you can live off your work. That's what they tell you. That's what they say retirement is. You living off your work. But if you working off your work, if you just only living to the means of being able to work, you're working to support your lifestyle currently and not thinking about your future lifestyle, you fucked. You fucked. Because at the end of the road, if you expect the government to pay for where you're going to live and how you're going to eat, it's going to be trash. It's going to be trash. You got to expect trash. Because the people that's working these facilities, you got to think, yes, some of them do get paid a little bit more. You can make a little bit more in a nursing home. Even if I was to go full-time as an RN right now on the floor, I would be making way less in the hospital than I make as a RN in a nursing home. Primarily, partially to do with the fact that right now the reason I'm making more than if I was to go to a nursing home in a hospital as an RN is because I'm doing PRN. I get less benefits. I get no benefits except for 401k. I just realized I got 401k. I didn't even know I was contributing to this shit. I'm like, I called, she's telling me how much is in there. I'm like, when did this start? Since day one, I've been contributing to this shit. 3% of my goddamn income. But anyhow, I digress. So that's why I'm getting paid more because it's PRN. If I was going to a nursing home, if I was to just go full-time, I'm a full-time nurse in a hospital, I would be getting paid less than what I would get paid in a nursing home. But granted, I might find a decent nursing home that pay good. But unless you're doing RN, now RN, you can make 6 figures. RN, like, as in director of nursing, you can make like 6 figures. I don't know where I would do that at. I don't even know. But you know what? Now I'm thinking about it. I can't do nothing Monday through Friday, though. I don't want to work Monday through Friday. I say that now, but I'm kind of like, I don't mind. I might look into it. I don't know. But anyhow, nurse, I said I would never do it though. That's the thing. I said I would never do that shit. But nursing homes, it's just, it's a lot of physical work. I'm not used to having charge nurses. That's what my first thing is. I'm not used to having, everything is on you in a nursing home. Everything is on you in the nursing home. So like I said, just imagine having 50 patients, 40 patients. Imagine being a new nurse working like that. It's a lot of work. And it's what they expect you to do in nursing homes. That's what I was doing coming out as a GPN, graduate practical nurse. Even as a CNA, you get a gross amount of patients. You get a lot of patients. People was kind of, in my job, was talking about like, oh, all night you just keep on getting up. Like, what's going on? You cool? Like, I'm like, girl, I'm fucking working for one. Stop paying attention to what I'm doing. Hell. And two, like, I'm used to having 40, 50 people. Like, I'm used to like needing to check on my patients, especially night shift. I got to look at somebody at least every 2 hours, if not less, because people will be in there comatose, okay, gone, and nobody has touched this person for 5-6 hours. Like, that's why I think I kind of be a little bit more, what you in there doing type of energy, because I've come from a state where I know they say that the hospitals have more acuity, but in nursing homes, it's just the volume, the sheer volume of it. Your mind has to extend to a lot of people. A doctor could come down that hall and ask me about at least one patient, 40 fucking patients. The doctors got a lot on them too. I remember a doctor told me, I got about 1,000 patients. Like, I need you to be more specific. And I'm like, okay, shit. Let me get my life right. Shout out to Dr. Cressilius. He made me a better nurse. He for sure did, because he would be like, people didn't like him because they say he was like too mean, but to me, everything he said made sense. And I was like, shit, you're right. Okay, I was like, he's restless. He's like, I need you to explain what he's doing, because that could be anything. I'm like, you're right. He's like, I'm not there. I need you to tell me. And I'm like, okay, this is exactly what he's doing. So I learned that when they say be objective. Don't just say restless. Don't just say agitated. Say specifically what that person is doing, because what you might see as restless, I might see as a person just wandering. It's a difference. But restless could be, that might look irritable to somebody. It's so many things. So explain what is actually happening. You say the patient is shifting back and forth in his chair, moving his arms rapidly, standing up, sitting down, having outbursts, saying certain things over and over again, and outbursts, raising his voice, something like that. Because outburst, just say raising a voice. Because outburst versus raising your voice is two different things. It looks totally different. So anyhow, that's just a little nursing tip. But yeah, I would say one of the biggest things is that charge nurse. Having that charge nurse there to help you with certain things. Having just more of a team there. If something, because like I said, when you got that trach patient, it is on you. But if something were to happen, you're going to have respiratory therapy. You're going to have the response team. Like, you're going to have all these resources. Other nurses like codes, blue, come through. If something going on with an IV, you got somebody to help you with an IV in a nursing home. Hopefully you can find somebody who can do vascular access, something like that. So just be mindful of those things. And also, I would say that was just one of the main things. The next thing I would say is that